You see, sometimes you have this an amazing detail model in your scene, like a dragon, but let's face it, this is so useless in terms of animating that, rigging that, or even painting that. That would be horrible. So we need a simpler version like this. But the problem is we need to extract the detail like map and height map from it, so we can paint it like this. So Houdini 21 has an amazing future for that. Hi everyone, this is Dyson. Welcome back to this first look of Houdini 21 series. So we have this low res model and we have this high dense model, you see? And we need to extract the detail and transfer that to the lowest model. And first one, I have this high res model and I want to get this approach that we can create a lower model in Houdini using this quad mesh, you see? Quad remesh, sorry. And another approach is poly reduce. We can use poly reduce to have a lower model. And third approach is unsubdivide. As I mentioned before, this is so genius model and it will work very well with quad mesh. And you see, we have low model by unsubdivide. So now we can create our cup net and we can access the texture baker from here and bake geometry texture, sorry. And as you can see, we need a lower model, and this is the lower model in here, and we need the high res model, and we're gonna go with sub import and we're gonna import that. So now we have an error, of course, and we have different mode and we have cage model, but let's fix the error. So you see, we don't have any UV map. So we're going to transfer the UV map from the high res model to the low res model. And this is the lazy approach, of course. You can create your own model. And we have another problem. We don't have any normals. So we're going to use fact and we're going to enable the normals here. So now if I replace this node and voila, we have something. As you can see, now we have our normal map, for example, of the high res model. This is very important. And of course, we can create our curvature map in here. You see, we don't have anything cool. I think the problem may be from this. And of course, you can change this mode, and I think the low res model is our problem. Let me connect that to the poly reduce, and let's see. Voila, you see, that's very amazing than quad remeasure. So if I create a material preview and if I connect the normal map to it, and you see we have some of these detail in this low res model, and of course you can generate your height map. The height map was so challenging in CupNet, and as you can see, I played with that a lot, to be honest. This is the height map or displacement map, and you see we don't have anything like vector displacement map in here or anything like that. And just we have this true displacement map, and we can of course create something like that and manipulate it in this preview material. But you see, overall, I don't like it, to be honest. You see, we have something, but yeah, not quite there. And let's see this unsubdivide version 2. And let's see it here. You see, unsubdivide version, it's doing very well too. But now let's go to another approach. You see, we have, let's say, low res and high res now. And now we're gonna create these two sub import in Solaris. And now we have this bake texture in here, texture baker, sorry. And as you can see, we have a problem now, you see. Okay, we're gonna fix that. We need to assign the low res model and the high res model, of course. And let's see what is the problem. Of course, let's go to the cage And yeah, you see we can ignore some errors. And now let's create our height map, and let's create this render and play. And as you can see, we don't have anything. Of course, we have our normals, but the displacement map, of course, we need to make the brightness more using gamma, etc. But the problem is it's not satisfying, to be honest. And of course, we can render that in file, for example, using this setting. And let me create simple scene from this low res model. And of course, I will create a quick surface material and physical light. And we're gonna assign this normal map. You see, if I crank that, we have something, but this is normal map, right? We need height map. Our problem was about height map. So let's change that for height map, for example, and let's assign our height map to it. So let's go here and let's assign our height map in here. And of course, if I crank that up, of course, we need to enable true displacement map. And you see, we have some weird effect here. I don't like that. You see that? So this is the whole displacement map, of course. But we need to dig deeper and fix this problem of height map. So in our premium course in our website, the link in the description, we're gonna take this dragon and we're gonna make a low model of it. And of course, we're gonna create our curvature map and normal map to have this detail. And we're gonna deep dive to this displacement map. You see, we have this problem, but eventually we fixed it there. You see, we're gonna fix this displacement map, and we're gonna have that in Paint X, how we can paint it. You see, we paint that. And if you're interested, I will see you there. So see you in the next one. Goodbye.